All right, I want to take again, Rob, a look at these long lines in Arizona. And again, it could be just fewer polling places now, so the lines are going to be longer. Or it could be just enormous interest. But that one guy, the second one in the white t-shirt, he has not moved in the past 3 hours, which is fine. But I mean, I could be imagining it. But across the state, the same deal. Arizona Attorney General Mark Brnovich was backing Marco Rubio. Maybe he can tell us a little bit about what's going on with these lines. Attorney General, thank you for joining us. What is the deal here? Is it being magnified by these fewer polling places, or is it genuinely off the charts voting?
You know, first and foremost, Neil, let me just say that I'm glad I'm not wearing white, Kennedy. So I just wanted to get that out of the way right now. But I also want to say that I had nothing to do with the polling places. That's not our job. But I will say, I do think it's a combination.
You seem a little peevish, though, if I could say so myself.
I think there's been a lot of interest out here. You know, we've had the presidential candidates come through, including the major Democratic candidates, the major Republican candidates, and they did cut down on the number of polling places. And ultimately, as I think John Wooden used to say, that failure to plan is planning to fail.
General, have you...
Quoting the UCLA basketball coaching legend. Well done.
He gets good points for that one. Okay.
Although I am a Sun Devil, just so we're clear.
Very good.
What has Trump done recently in Arizona to get people on his side? Has he focused on the border issues exclusively? Has he expanded that at all, or what?
You know, I do think that's a big part of it, and I will tell you, just anecdotally, even months ago, there's folks at my church, and I go to a church with a lot of immigrants. I'm a first-generation American, and when I heard folks there talking about border security and issues related to how bad the economy was, and they feel like they've been left behind and they haven't had raises in 10 years, there's a lot of angst and a lot of anger, and I thought to myself that, you know, this Trump phenomenon is not going to go away as a lot of the cake eaters and the pundits thought it would. And so I think even out here, as he's focused on the border, securing the border, and also on economic issues, I think that resonates with a lot of people, Democrats and Republicans.
By the way, what is his problem with cake eaters? But we'll let that go. Go ahead.
Well, it didn't work out for Marianne.
I don't consider you a cake eater, Neil, just so we're clear.
Well,
trust me.
I wanted to raise that issue about immigration as it relates to the economy, because in exit polls that we got last week in Florida, Ohio, and in North Carolina, it was the economy and jobs that were the biggest issue for voters, and fourth was immigration. It was quite small. So is that how immigration translates into the bigger, broader issue of lack of wage growth in the state of Arizona, an unemployment rate that is higher than the national average?
Well, you know, it could be a combination of things. I do think because Arizona is on the front line, and we have seen the consequences of what has happened when we've had an unsecure and porous border. I mean, frankly, just 6 months ago, there were 6 folks apprehended from Middle Eastern countries, from Pakistan and Afghanistan, at our border. I know when you talk to the ranchers down there, you know, they're concerned because they have found, you know, coins from the Middle East. We've seen a huge spike in money transfers coming from places like Nogales on the border to Middle Eastern countries. And so folks are worried about it, not only from an economic perspective, but from a national security perspective. But I think ultimately, you know, economists and people are telling us how great the economy is, or, you know, how we should all be happy and we've turned things around. But the reality is, if you talk to most people, as I said, people at my church or my mom and her friends, you know, they're worried about their retirement. They're worried about their Social Security. They haven't had a raise in 10 years. And so no matter what people are telling them or economists are telling them, in their real life, they're worried about their kids being able to keep their jobs. They're worried about stagnant wages, stagnant growth. People can feel it. They can sense it. Yep. And that's, I think, the big issue that a lot of the pundits are missing, and even folks back there maybe in the East Coast media.
All right. Well, I know those guys. Don't even get me started. Attorney General, thank you very, very much. It's very good to have you. You have a very good sense of humor, too, by the way.